Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
the weather's been good. The weather's been good.
Mhm.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Back with another week, Conscious Approach, another video. As usual, my name is JV Wins, joined by my dog, Dogon SS, to talk about some stuff that piqued our interest over the course of this last week. Before we get into the commentary on this week's video, like always, I did want to let everybody know that if you are watching this video either on the live stream or if you are watching this video post talk and you are not subscribed to the channel, to please subscribe to the channel. Hit the subscribe button so that you can get the notification for all content published to the channel. Additionally, if you are watching any of the videos as standalone uploads, also subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, share the video wherever you're watching this video. We certainly appreciate you supporting logical content as always. So with that out of the way, today is a special day. At least for us, it is. So October 18th is opening night in the NBA. Now we are NBA heads. We tend to lean into the heavy social commentary on this channel, but we do enjoy our sports talk as well. So because the NBA is kicking off today October the 18th, is at the time of recording this video, we thought that we would just talk about the league and give our 2 cents on what we think is going to happen, respectively. So how the season is going to shake out, who's going to make it into the postseason, win the NBA championship, who's going to win league MVP. Obviously, this is all opinion. We don't know what's going to happen. More than likely, the stuff that we are going to say is not correct, just like everybody else who gets paid too much money to give their sports predictions on TV and all forms of new media these days. So why not we join in on that kind of stuff? So I guess I'll go ahead and kick it off. Kick this one off. So side stories aside, because we got all sorts of side things going on with the league. You got Robert Sarver, and apparently he was a creep of an owner and a bad guy, so now he's actively trying to sell the Phoenix Suns. How is that going to affect Phoenix, because they're a contender out west? You got the Boston Celtics with the Ime Udoka situation. How is that going to affect the Celtics? Right now, the Celtics are playing the Philadelphia 76ers, the first game of the year. Close game, 11-10. Philly is up by one. They're playing in Boston. But there's speculation as to whether the Ime Udoka situation, the fallout from that, is going to be punitive enough to derail the Boston Celtics from having a legitimate shot to win a championship. And then you got the Lakers with Westbrook and Patrick Beverly. And, LeBron is more than likely going to break the all-time scoring record this year. You got Warriors with Draymond Green knocking out Jordan Poole, and how is that going to affect what they got going on out there? So it's a lot of stuff going on in the league this year right off the bat, a lot of interesting storylines. So for me, real quick, kind of what I see happening, at least, in my opinion, I kind of pay attention to the history of the game and the way a lot of this stuff has gone on. And right off the bat, no team that does not have a dynamic 6'6" or taller wing player who can dribble, pass, and shoot has a chance to win. So I just don't, if you don't have that kind of guy as your best player, or at least your second best player, you have zero chance to win a championship. So that immediately eliminates a handful of teams from having legitimate contention. In the East, the Hawks are out. The Hornets are out. The Bulls, they got DeRozan and Zach LaVine, but those two guys to me are B tier players. They're not superstar caliber. They're more like, if they're the second best player on your team looks good. But it doesn't matter whether you say LaVine or DeMar DeRozan. They're both B tier. They're not on that level, so they have zero chance to win. Cleveland has zero chance. They got Donovan Mitchell over the all season, but Donovan Mitchell's like 6'2", 6'3", and he's their best player. They have a lot of complimentary pieces. They got Mobley and those guys out there. So they're probably going to have a pretty good record. Zero chance to win a championship. And that's no disrespect. It just is what it is. Pistons, horrible. Pacers, not good. My Miami Heat, I want so badly to say that I look at the roster and they got a legit chance. But once again, I love and respect the system and the organization. And I do like me some Jimmy Butler. But again, Jimmy Butler is B tier. Jimmy Butler to me is DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine level. Maybe a cut above them because not DeMar DeRozan, Jimmy Butler has some intangibles that I do appreciate in terms of holding players accountable and sort of, being, and I'm going to use a media phrase here, so please forgive me, but a galvanizing force. But Jimmy Butler is cool and all, but still, he's just a cut below that superstar dynamic wing player that you need in order to be a legit contender. So because of that, by default, I have to say, regrettably, that my Heat have zero chances to win the finals, even though they are probably going to get into the postseason and make a lot of noise, as they always do. But nevertheless, zero chance to win a championship. Milwaukee, they currently have the league's best player, in my opinion, in Antetokounmpo. So they are a legit contender. Knicks, no. Magic, no. Although I'm going to be watching the Magic because I think Paolo Banchero is going to be a real deal star NBA player. He was doing stuff in college when he was at Duke that made me say, oh, this guy is like a pro. You can just tell, even if he wasn't leading college basketball and scoring or nothing like that, he wasn't necessarily blowing everybody away in any one statistical category. But I just watched his game, and his game at Duke was so refined. I feel like at some point he's going to be a star. But nevertheless, he plays for the Magic. The Magic are atrocious, so zero chances to win. Toronto, no chance. Philly has a shot. Their roster is well balanced, and I do really, really like Joel Embiid. I personally think that he's a superstar. He's not a wing player per se because he doesn't necessarily dribble and handle the ball and kind of move on the perimeter the way dynamic wing players do, but he can shoot, he has range, and he can make free throws. He can defend the paint. He does rebound the ball, and unless he is hurt, he is a presence on the defensive end. And then their second best player is a dynamic wing guy in James Harden, even though I think James Harden is a bit overrated. But that's okay because James Harden is the second best player. So your second best player can be James Harden, and you still got a legit shot. So I like Embiid, therefore I like the Sixers. I think they have a legit shot as well. They got guys like Maxey. I think Maxey is still somebody who comes off the bench. So I like the Sixers. I'm actually pulling for them to do better than they have been because I'm tired of Doc Rivers getting a rap for being an overrated coach. And that's starting to be something that's getting said more and more. And then Toronto, no shot. Wizards, no shot. So of all the teams that I said have a shot, I think I skipped over Brooklyn. Brooklyn has a shot, obviously, because of KD. So we're looking at Brooklyn. We're looking at Boston also has a shot with Jason Tatum. We're looking at Boston. We're looking at Brooklyn. We're looking at Philly. And that's pretty much what I look at in terms of who has a shot in the East. Not really anybody else. Between Brooklyn, Boston, and Milwaukee and Philly, provided that Chris Middleton doesn't get hurt and he stays healthy, even though Milwaukee is top heavy, I gotta say, I think I like Milwaukee coming out of the East because I think that Giannis just affects every spot on the court. He affects dramatically. He has the greatest effect on his team and on winning of any player in the league and any player since LeBron. And it hurts me to say that because I don't like LeBron. But the truth is the truth. The truth is the truth. So I'm going to go with Milwaukee in the East. Out West, I pretty much follow the same rubric. looking at the teams in the West, Dallas does have a very dynamic player in Luka. A lot of people in the media like the Dallas Mavericks. I don't like them so much because even though Luka is a superstar player, he's too ball dominant for my liking. Uh, guys who are extremely ball dominant like that tend to not be on teams that win championships. And that's not to say that Luka has to play that way. I just think the way that their roster is currently constructed sort of necessitates him playing that way. Uh, I'm trying to give Luka the benefit of the doubt. I think that if he was playing with one or two other really, really high end good players, that maybe he would be able to come off the ball and just be a guy who makes plays and scores and gets assists. But right now, because he kind of is the end all to be all in that regard, he has the ball in his hands all the time. And in the playoffs, it's easy to game plan against that, especially when it slows down in the half court set. So because of that, as good as I think Luka is, Mavericks, zero chance. The Denver Nuggets are legit to me. Jokic, I have the highest regard for. I do not think it was a fluke that he won MVP twice. I really do think he's that good. He is highly intelligent. He's legit. Like Embiid, to me, he's willing to affect every part of the court. Also like Giannis, inside, outside, and he's smart. He can pass. He passes better than Joel Embiid. He shoots at least as good as Joel Embiid. And I think he is less injury prone than Joel Embiid. So you put all of that together. I like Denver. Plus Jamal Murray's coming back. Denver is legit to me. Golden State doesn't need to be said. We'll move on. Houston, no. Clippers. Clippers are extremely interesting. If Kawhi Leonard can just play, the dude is hurt all the time. If Kawhi Leonard can just be available, the Clippers to me are interesting. I might say that the Clippers have the greatest chance to make it to the finals over Golden State if Kawhi Leonard just plays. But he's always hurt all the time. I can't trust him to not be hurt. But I mean, all things equal, if health is not a factor, the Clippers are legit. Paul George, obviously, I put Paul George in that B tier, but he's very, very high end B tier. And so with Kawhi there, Kawhi's better than Paul George. Paul George is your second best player. You're legit. And then you're trying to resurrect the ashes of John Wall because they signed John Wall in the offseason. We'll see how that goes. But I like their roster and I like their head coach a lot. So I feel like the Clippers have a legitimate shot. Their biggest caveat is not being hurt, which is a big deal because Kawhi Leonard is just always hurt. He's injury prone as hell. So, all things being equal in terms of health, the Clippers are legit. Lakers, no. Grizzlies are interesting. There's a lot of Ja Morant hype. We talked about Ja Morant often. The Grizzlies are interesting. The Grizzlies don't meet my qualifications in terms of teams that can win championships, but they're going to be one of those teams that wins a whole lot of games in the regular season. Like, I think the Grizzlies are going to have the best record in the league, or at the very least, they're going to have one of the three best records in the league as long as everybody stays healthy. They have a really good roster with a lot of good players, but I just feel like their best player in Morant is just too undersized to be dynamic enough to get them over the hump. That's my personal opinion. As good as he is, if Ja Morant was 6'7", 6'8", at least 6'6", I'd put the Grizzlies right in there in the mix. But the history of the league says that just doesn't cut it. Guys got to be a little taller, a little closer to the rim. And Ja Morant's really good, but to me, physically, he just does not fit the build in terms of what your best player needs to be in order for you to legitimately contend. So I'm going to keep my eye on the Grizzlies, and they're going to be on TV a whole lot because they're really popular. And Ja Morant is a really popular player. But I still think they have zero chance because their best player is Ja Morant, and Ja is, 6'2", 6'3". So I'm just going to DQ them because of that. I'm going to say no. Minnesota, no. Pelicans, no. And side note on the Pelicans, Zion is already hurt already. Like, he ripped his ankle in the preseason. Like, the guy is just starting to look like he's injury prone. So It pains me to say it. Doesn't make me happy to say that, but in a preseason game, he's already rolled his ankle. So be that as it may, even without that happening, there's still a no to me. Brandon Ingram is one of those guys. He needs to be your second or third best player, and your best player needs to be somebody who is as talented as Zion, but not so injury prone. I respect CJ McCollum a lot. So I think they have some good pieces, and I really, really want to see their coach succeed, Willie Green, but zero shot. OKC, zero shot. Phoenix, I don't think so. I love Devin Booker. Devin Booker to me is their best player. Devin Booker is probably the only guy in the whole league, in my opinion, who's not above 6'6", but still he's so good to me. He can be your best player and you can still win it all. I mean, hell, they already got to a finals. Like, that's how good I think Devin Booker is. Just all around game, no weaknesses in his game offensively, and he puts in the effort defensively. But there's something weird with them. I can't really put my finger on it, but it's like they get there, maybe Chris Paul melts down and gets hurt, or Ayton, he might get in his feelings and get disgruntled, mad because he ain't getting the ball enough or not getting enough plays called for him, or he feels like he should be paid more. There's something weird with Phoenix. And so I'm just gonna say no because of that. But I like their team, so it wouldn't hurt me to see them do well. But I'm still gonna say no. Portland, no. Free Dame. Sacramento, no. They might be the worst team in the whole league. San Antonio, no. Utah, no. So out of the West, I said Denver, yes. Golden State, yes. I said the Clippers, yes, so long as they're healthy. And I want to put Phoenix in there, but I just have my trepidation. Here's the thing. Golden State, I'm going to say no because it's like, who repeats? No one does that. No one does that. Like, they did it when they were in the midst of their dynasty, but I think they're older now and the team isn't the same. KD ain't walking through that door. Clay is great, but not prime Clay, no fault of his own, but I just don't see them repeating. So I got to say no to the Warriors, although I like them. And if they were to go back, it wouldn't necessarily upset me. Clippers, to me, it's between Clippers and Denver, honestly. And I don't know which way to go with that. Part of me wants to say that provided everybody stays healthy, I kind of want to go with the Clippers. To be honest. But there's also a part of my brain that can't reconcile the idea of seeing the Clippers in the finals. It's just weird. It's weird. I don't know if I can. I can't fully grasp the idea of that. But I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say the Clippers get to the finals this year for the first time ever, as long as everybody stays healthy. Because I think their roster is that well balanced, and I think that they have that good a coach. So I'm gonna go with the Clippers. I'm gonna go with Milwaukee in the finals, and I'm gonna go with Milwaukee winning it again because I like Giannis that much. So that's my uninformed, unintelligent, wild prediction for this NBA season. League MVP, I got Ja Morant winning that. He's gonna steamroll this thing. He's gonna have a bunch of numbers, a bunch of highlights, a bunch of crazy dunks. The media is gonna go crazy. All of these talk shows and these pundits are gonna get on TV and on these podcasts talking about how Ja Morant is league MVP candidate. I feel like it's Ja Morant season in terms of MVP. There's been some subtle noise with that leading up to this year, and so I think it's going to reach a full tilt this year. And again, I feel like Memphis is going to have one or two of the best records in the league, and they always like giving it to the best player on the best team. Usually, that's how they give that award out. So I got Ja Morant winning the MVP this year. So I want to say one thing about Brooklyn, because Brooklyn is one of my teams that legitimately have a shot in the East. Too much turmoil. I think that when KD is in the right state of mind, he's the best player in the league, in my opinion. I think he's better than Giannis. The problem is he's hardly ever in the right state of mind, or he's hardly ever in the right environment. There's just no synchronicity with KD. Either his head ain't good, but it's good. He's the best player, so he's dynamic enough that if the environment is good and if his head is good, I would go with Brooklyn, despite the wild card that is Kyrie Irving and the unknown that is Ben Simmons. But I think when it all boils down to it, in the half court, I trust KD. Um, I don't trust Kyrie Irving because I think that Kyrie Irving needs to be your second best player with a best player who is strong willed enough to kind of pull the reins in on him. And LeBron was that guy for like 2 years, but even LeBron couldn't sustain it. And Ben Simmons is nothing. I don't even know who Ben Simmons is as a human being. He's a complete and utter mystery. He's a wild card. I don't know who or what he is. So too many variables, too much untrustworthiness. Can't go with Brooklyn. Got to go with Milwaukee to win the whole thing. And I'm going with Ja Morant to win the MVP. And I got the Clippers coming out of the Western Conference.
I would say, bro, that was very well said. I agree with most of that. I'm going to pull a Lee Corso and say a not so fast, my friend. And I would say, so let me start with the MVP thing, because I agree with most of your team breakdowns. Honestly, that was very well said. But for the MVP thing, I was thinking Ja Morant as well. I think that he's going to be in the conversation. But the issue that I have with Ja Morant is that they don't, at least last year, they didn't need him. And when
That's true.
when I say they didn't need him, of course they needed him, but they were whooping teams when he wasn't even in the lineup. I mean,
that's true.
They were beating teams by like 30, and he didn't even dress up.
Yeah, he missed 19 games and Memphis with 18-1.
Yeah. Memphis overall is a good team, and Ja Morant is sexy. So everybody wants to say Ja Morant, and I hear what you're saying, because you said it, like they're just gonna blow it up because he's the best player on one of the best teams. So they're gonna blow that up. But I think what they're gonna do first, before Ja gets his, I think this is a Luka year. Provided that he's healthy, they're going to make the playoffs, and they're going to have a sound record in the West, because the West is looking weaker than it usually does. Mm-hmm. And I think they're going to have a sound record, and I think they're gonna give Luka the MVP this year. Jokic, I mean, he's not going to win it 3 times in a row. I mean, he went donkey last year. Not to say that he can't do it again this year, but I don't know how you can outdo what you did for 3 seasons straight. If he does, I mean, my goodness, you know what I'm saying? But I'm a huge Jokic fan, by the way. But I think this is going to be a Luka campaign. He damn near puts up a triple-double every game, and that's without him like really trying. So I really like Luka for MVP this year, because he's talented, but also I think they're going to start his campaign. I think they're going to start his campaign. And so yeah, I got Luka for MVP. As far as teams coming out of the West, I agree with you. I like Denver, provided that they stay healthy, because they always get into injury situations. But their team is low key stacked. I like how they develop players. I like how they play as a team. So I like Denver. I think the Clippers are still. I think they're too top heavy. I don't think they have enough rotational pieces to compete, throughout the entire season, and then the gauntlet of the playoffs. So and then they always have injury woes themselves. Paul George can never stay healthy, and Kawhi can never stay healthy. Last year was an absolute shark show. I don't know what the hell they were doing last year. But provided that they stay healthy, I do see them, contending. But because Kawhi goes into beast mode in the playoffs, but at the same time, I don't think they have enough legs in a race right now in the NBA. Teams that are well balanced, with a good starting rotation but a solid bench, those are the teams that are going places. And so I don't think the Clippers can do that. The Lakers are an absolute joke. I don't know what the hell they're doing. They're going to go to the playoffs. I mean, they got LeBron, and all things provided, he's not going to miss a game due to injury. Anything is going to be load management. So when LeBron's healthy, they're going to the playoffs. But are they going to contend? That team, all kinds of chemistry issues. Darvin Ham, first time head coach. I'm not buying it. Golden State, they're loaded, bro. They're absolutely loaded. And I hear what you're saying, like, who does that, who goes back to back, all this stuff. But but my thing is, man, who's gonna stop what they're doing? And if they play like how we know they're capable of playing, if Wiseman becomes a rotational piece in what they're doing, they got new dudes that they got on the bench, Jermichael Green and DiVincenzo and all this other stuff, and it's like, man, they got guys. So I don't really see who can compete with that in the long haul. So I think they go to, I think they're minimum Western Conference Finals. But I like your pick. I like your pick for Denver. I like your pick for Denver. I think Denver is solid, and I want to see them go to the finals. This is a personal pick. It's a personal. I want to see them go to the finals. The Grizzlies, I still think they're too young. I think once they hit certain levels of adversity in the playoffs, they won't be able to match levels of intensity. It proved itself last year. I think it's going to prove itself again this year. With Phoenix, yeah, I agree with you. There's something off about them. I think they're missing another piece. I think they need another dude. Chris Paul is historically let people down in the playoffs. I'm not giving him any more passes. Devin Booker, he's a go-getter. I love what he does. Ayton, he's big, but he's soft to me. So I really think that the Phoenix Suns are they're a piece away. I like the Pelicans not to go to the finals, but I like them to make some noise this year, provided that Zion stays healthy. But again, he's just doing what Zion does. I mean, he's just too big, man. I'm sorry. He's got to do something about that. And the way he walks, man, he walks with a waddle.
He lumbers. Yeah.
He lumbers. And it's to me that screams structural issues. That at some point he's going to have a foot injury. I'm not wishing nothing on the man, but he just looks like he's athletic, but his frame is not allowing everything that he's trying to do. So don't like that. So in the West, I say in the Western Conference Finals, I like Golden State and Denver to go. The heart says Denver, but if I put money on it, I'm saying Golden State going to the finals out of the West. Then coming out of the East, there's all kinds of stuff going on. Of course, diehard Heat fan here, but they didn't do anything in off season. We do still don't have a big man in the middle. I don't like if at any point that we face a team, because I was at last year when we played Milwaukee, and they just basically just handed it to us. Was that last year?
Well, it was Boston. Boston took us out last
Oh,
year.
Boston.
Yeah,
Okay.
it went. I think it went 6 games the series, but like they had us down for the ropes, and it took like 40+ point games from Jimmy Butler just to get a win.
That's
Like
right.
Jimmy Butler was playing out of his mind, dropping like 45, 47 points in games. So
That's right. But still,
yeah,
and Tyler got hurt last year, and that's what that
yeah,
was.
he did get hurt. It's just with the Heat, like, and again, I want so badly for us to get back and win it, but you can't. I'm sorry, but like I look at these rosters that have a chance to win,
Hmm.
and like with all due respect, Max Strus would not get minutes on Milwaukee. So it's guys like that. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
It's that type of like. And look, I respect what the Heat do in terms of um,
Scouting.
farm and the scouting and yeah, bringing up people that you drafted and kind of signing guys off of who didn't work off of other rosters, but you can make it fit because player development. The Heat
Hmm.
do player development very well, but at the end of the day, man, these rotational pieces that the Heat puts out there, Gabe Vincent, he's another one.
Yeah.
Like and I respect those guys, but they are 9 and 10s off the bench to me, even in the regular season. In a playoff rotation, guys like that are only seeing the court if there's injuries, in my opinion.
Hmm.
But for us, they get considerable minutes in high leverage situations in the playoffs, and so
Yes.
that's why I just kind of feel like I don't really think we have a legit shot. As much as I want to be wrong about that.
Yeah. And one more thing about the Heat, since we're Heat guys, I'm over the Duncan Robin experience. Y'all,
That's another one, yeah.
yeah, I'm over that. Overpaid. I was never a fan of, even when the whole, hey, we gotta re-sign Duncan. I was like, let him go.
Yeah.
We created Duncan Robinson out of clay. We could make another one. So I don't see what's going on. And hell, Strus was outplaying him last year. That's why he was getting more minutes.
Which is
And
saying something. Yeah. Bro,
I don't like that.
Duncan Robinson was benched. Like he wasn't even playing. Like once we got past the first round, he wasn't even playing.
Yeah.
Like he didn't even because he's such a liability. And offensively, he's so one-dimensional. If he's not catching and shooting, he gives you nothing offensively. And on defensively, they were just targeting him every time. Who's
Mhm.
he guarding? Okay, give the ball to that guy. So he had to he got benched because of that. And
Mhm.
he's getting paid like $80 million. So
Oh my god. Yeah, don't get me started with that. And then as far as the Celtics, uh I still don't like their bench. I feel like a lot of their success last year was from their coach. I feel like he was actually sharp enough to actually get those guys to perform above, what their actual talent is. Even though they're talented, I feel like they were outplaying playing above their heads a little bit, and I felt like that was a lot to do with coaching. And without their coach, it'll be interesting to see how they handle all of this stuff. But Tatum, we'll see how he handles this season. But greatly disappointed in his last the playoff performance that he had last year. That was just atrocious. As far as Brooklyn is concerned, um, I'm a Ben Simmons truther. I'm a Ben Simmons believer. Yeah, he doesn't want to shoot jumpers, but he can't shoot jumpers.
it's not
So
about shooting. Yeah, but it's not about shooting with him. It's about his indifference. Like he's just I don't want to play with people who are just out there like, huh, whatever. Like I don't lean into your strength. Like don't get out there in a playoff game and drive baseline. You're 6'10 and you have a dunk or a layup and you pass the ball on the baseline. Why are you doing stuff like that? That's the thing. I don't care about the fact that you can't shoot. I don't even care about that. The free throw thing is a problem though, because
yeah, it is. It is.
if you can't have a guy that talented out on the court when it matters the most in those high leverage minutes in the fourth quarter of a playoff game, because if he gets fouled, he's going to miss the free throws. That's a problem. That's a
Mhm.
problem. But beyond the free throw thing, I don't care about the shooting thing. It's just his general approach to life to me is just something that I don't want on my teams. So like, that Hawk series a couple years ago, after that, I was like, I don't know what you got going on, Ben Simmons. Like, dunk the ball. These are obvious scoring situations, and you're just doing things that make no sense. So that's my only contention with Ben Simmons. I don't really care about the shooting thing.
That's fair. And that's fair because his indifference does rub me the wrong. That's the one part about him that I don't care for myself. But overall, I like his game. I feel like his vision is top notch. Somebody his height and his size, uh, his ability to handle the ball and make the passes that he make, defend as good as he can. I like him, and I think that provided he stays healthy, which is a big thing in the NBA, dudes cannot stay healthy. But
Yeah.
provided that he stays healthy, I do think Brooklyn can't, because here's the thing. I think that Ben knows he reminds me, outside of the indifference, he reminds me a lot of myself when I played, because he just fits in where he has to make sure that the team is running like a well-oiled machine. And so Kyrie just wants to shoot. Well, now he actually has somebody that can bring it up the court. And KD, all he wants to do is shoot. And now he finally has somebody that can give him the ball in those pockets that he wants, and not watch Kyrie dribble the ball around for 20 seconds. So I like him being a piece amongst those two ball hogs, and him being the third member of the trifecta. Him not being the one that wants to shoot, because you have two people who take enough shots for three people. I think that will work somehow. I really think that will work. So how far will it go? I don't know. I agree with your take that somebody has to, KD has to take the reins away from Kyrie, because I don't want Kyrie taking the last shot. I want KD taking it, and I want KD being the man, and because somebody has to be the man. It can't be 1A and 1B.
Yeah, somebody has to just be the leader of the team. Yeah,
Right.
like
And I think KD has to be that guy. Like when LeBron did it with Wade, Wade had to take a step back because LeBron wasn't going to give it up. So Wade took his step back and it made it work. So I think that if Brooklyn can figure that little thing out, I think that they could do some stuff. I think they could. As far as the 76ers, I'm not a Embiid believer. I don't know what it is about him that I don't think has what it takes. I don't know he gets his numbers, he fills the stat sheet, but it's something, I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it, but I just think he doesn't have the it factor. And if there was a situation where it's the last shot in a game, or a pivotal situation, I want Jokic taking that shot. I want Luka taking that shot. I want, there's a whole bunch of people that I want shooting that before Embiid. And so, hell, even on his own team, I would rather have James Harden take that. And James Harden's no clutch guy either, but I would rather have James Harden shoot it. So Embiid is big. He's a problem. He's going to do his thing. I'm not saying he's not great. I'm not saying he's not one of the best players in the NBA. I just think he's missing like an internal factor that requires him to be that super elite kind of guy. And as far as Milwaukee, because everybody else in the East is they do stuff, but they don't do enough. So as far as Milwaukee, how can you not like Giannis? Like you said, he has such an impact on whatever everybody else is doing. He's just an animal, and he gets better and better every season. You can clearly tell he refines his game and try to get better. And I love Holiday. And the reason why they were able to win was because of Holiday. They got rid of the Bledsoe stuff, and Holiday plays on both ends of the court. He's highly underrated, and he's not appreciated enough, in my opinion. And Middleton, that guy, just fills it up. He's a walking bucket. He reminds me of an old school basketball player, Glenn Robinson type, Ray Allen type, not with the threes, but just with the fact that leave him open, he's automatic. I like what Milwaukee's doing. Everybody else, so I'm going Brooklyn to the final. I said it. I'm saying Brooklyn to the final. So Brooklyn. So if I put my money on it, okay, Hart Brooklyn. Hart Brooklyn. Money on the line, Milwaukee. Money on the line, Milwaukee. So I'll do my Hart versus Hart and money on money. Money on money, Golden State beats Milwaukee. Heart on heart, Denver beats Brooklyn. So we'll see what happens. And then heart and head says Luka for MVP. That's what I'm going for that.
I got you. Yeah, I hear all of that. Yeah, we differ a little bit on Embiid. I really like Embiid. I just think that Embiid is like one of those people who needs to play with somebody who can control the tempo of the game and just let him be Embiid. Yeah. But that person is also able to bring what they bring to the table and maximize that. And so I think thus far in his career, he hasn't had that. Because like Ben Simmons is just he's a walking contradiction. He can't be trusted. And then you get James Harden, and James Harden has eroded right before our very eyes. Like this is not Houston James Harden. So Embiid's looking at James Harden like, bro, can I get Houston James Harden? I think that's what Embiid wants. Like, he's just like, I just need my other guy to be who he is at the tip top of his and he thus far has not had that. But I think the thing with Embiid that I like is I think he cares, and I think when he loses, he's miserable, and I don't think he likes it, and I think he gives it his all. He just and he can do almost everything except like the handle part, which he's over 7 feet tall. So I just think he looks for like I feel like if James Harden was, and obviously not very many guys have this mentality, but you get what I mean. I think if James Harden in his head was like Jimmy Butler, I think Philly would be different. But James Harden is not Jimmy Butler in his head. He doesn't approach life that way. James Harden doesn't care like that. He's not working out in the offseason, keeping his body in shape, putting up 1,000 shots a day. James Harden gonna be at the club. So like, I feel like that's what Embiid wants, and him not having it isn't necessarily an indictment on him. But more or less, I do agree. I do hear what you're saying, though. So the Denver thing is interesting. I know my pick in the West is the Clippers, and that's a complete shot in the dark because I'm just looking at the roster and the coach, and I'm assuming Kawhi Leonard is finally going to not get hurt. But Denver is a real legitimate thing. They are loaded too, and Jokic is just reliable. You can trust him. He's just going to be there, and he's going to do his thing. And it's just, he's a superstar, like legit. And I don't throw that. There's like 5 of those guys in the league to me. I'm not like First Take where you got like 15 dudes who are superstars. No, there's only like 4 or 5 of those people. And to me, Jokic is one of them. But the Clippers thing, to me, I'm just looking at coach and health and Kawhi. That's why I'm kind of going Clippers. I hear what you're saying about Golden State. I'm just playing the odds on that. Honestly, on paper they should go back and repeat. But I'm just playing the odds on that. And teams just don't repeat. They just don't do it for whatever reason. Somebody gets hurt, or somebody just starts not playing as good, or somebody gets traded. Something happens, and for whatever reason they don't go back. And so I'm just kind of looking at the Clippers in Denver in the West, and at the moment I'm giving the edge to the Clippers because I do look at Kawhi like he's that deal when the playoffs roll around. He's kind of ambivalent too, which is an issue. But right. I like Ty Lue as a coach, and I feel like they can get it together as long as everybody stays healthy. I guess I'm kind of putting blind faith into the Clippers. The MVP thing is interesting. I just kind of feel like Ja Morant is going to get it as long as he plays all the games. Because at the end of the day, no one's going to say, well, last year he
You're
didn't
right.
play, and no one's going to care. They're just
Right.
going to be like, oh, he gets 20, he's averaging 27, 8 assists, and 7 rebounds, and he has the ball all the time. And he's on national television all the time, and he's going to have a bunch of highlight plays and dunks and all of this kind of stuff. And so that's the kind of stuff that usually leads to a guy winning MVP, because Memphis as a team is going to have a better record than Dallas. So I just kind of think that that's what gives Ja Morant the edge over the Mavericks. It's going to be the team record thing. But in actuality, when it comes to who's more valuable to their team, Luka is more valuable to his team than Ja Morant is by far. And yeah, I'm just looking at the East, and I just can't trust Kyrie and Ben Simmons. And because of that whole even though I like Embiid, because of the whole Harden thing, I'm looking at Giannis and the Bucks. And I'm just like, Giannis affects everything. And even though they're top heavy, their top is top.
Yeah.
Between Middleton and Holiday and Giannis.
Yeah.
And the only reason why they didn't go back last year is because Middleton got hurt.
Right.
Like I firmly believe the Celtics would not have been in the finals if Middleton had not gotten hurt against the Bulls. So that's the only reason why they didn't make it back. And they got better. So yeah, I like Milwaukee out of that. And yeah, you brought another thing I forgot to mention. You brought up DiVincenzo. That's a sneaky thing with Golden State. That
I'm telling you, bro.
So, no, I agree with you. I agree that they are absolutely loaded. I'm just playing the odds on that because teams just don't repeat. But that's pretty much what I got on what's going to happen this year.
Where y'all give Middleton his flowers, and y'all give Holiday his flowers, because those guys are never talked about, but those guys are just absolute ballers. If you watch Holiday play defense, this guy is playing chess with other people. He's a step ahead of everybody. It's amazing watching him play. I love watching them play, just overall. I like how they play basketball. So get them boys their flowers, man. Them boys is goated out there.
Yeah, no, you can give me Jrue Holiday any day of the week. I would trade a first-round draft pick for Jrue Holiday in a hot minute. Yeah, because he's getting in there, and he's just getting he's picking pockets and just getting steals on point guards, like NBA point guards, and don't leave him open because he'll make shots. Yeah, he's just I agree. I'm Team Jrue Holiday on that all day as well. So yeah, there you have it, man. That's what we got to say about this year's NBA season.
We love basketball over here.
Yeah. Drop a comment. Let us know what you think. Let us know where we going crazy at. But it's exciting, man. I always say November, today's October 18th, man. October's a good month, but I've always felt like November was the best sports month of the year because NFL had games that, every NFL game matters, but once you get in November, you get those games that, like, if you lose, bro, that's it. And college football, you get those big games that matter, and then NBA is in full swing. So, like, November is just the time to be alive if you like sports. But there you have it. Those are our NBA predictions. With that, we'll go ahead and move on.